evening and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Matt Ford, Josh Widdicombe, Hugh Dennis and James Acaster. We start this week by noting that this is actually the 10th anniversary of Mock the Week, and I just want to say we've gone for 10 years at this stage. It's a very magical time in a panel show's life, and we want to thank the BBC for the excellent cake they sent us about the whole thing. And one of these, whose name I can never remember, it really is quite a... Literally, there was a defect. There's this is what came. This, and a note going, you saw what happened to Nevermind the Buzzcocks. It could happen to you.
I mean, that's a really upbeat start to the show, isn't it?
You know, it's just the blessing we get. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what is going on here?
Is this Sepp Blatter meeting his hero, Neptune, god of the sea?
Is it just happier times for DLT?
Has someone in the audience just shouted, "Can anyone help me launder $10 million?"
Just saying, this little piggy went to prison.
Sepp Blatter saying, to avoid controversy, the 2020 World Cup is awarded to Islamic State.
Two people auditioning for the Happy Days reboot.
Or, still as cool as ever, it's Entourage, the movie.
Have Channel 5 just unveiled their rivals to Ant and Dec?
And you know who exactly this is?
Sepp Blatter.
Yes.
And what he'll look like when he crosses the Swiss border.
The other bloke's name is Chuck Blazer.
Yeah.
Who is, weirdly, American. How American is that? He might as well be called McApplepie Stars and Stripes III.
Yes, this is the news that Sepp Blatter has said he will give up his post as FIFA president after 17 years at the helm. His resignation follows allegations of corruption and bribery surrounding various World Cup bids, thanks to an FBI investigation and testimony by former FIFA executive Chuck Blazer. Chuck Blazer obviously being the man with the enormously large hand sitting next to him. He made his money in modelling for those foam hands that Americans wear at sporting events.
But Chuck Blazer, in fact, was arrested by the FBI, wasn't he, in New York, on a mobility scooter.
He was chased by the FBI.
I would like to have seen that chase, you know. Quick, quick! He appears not to be stopping. We may have to break into a jog.
Chuck Blazer is an amazing bloke, isn't he? He's got a parrot. He's got a parrot on his shoulder.
Yes.
And the brilliant thing about the parrot is that he was married and the parrot went with his wife after the divorce. And then 6 months later, she gave him the parrot back. And he didn't know, but in the interim, she had taught the parrot to slag him off.
You can do that with real-life kids. This is an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. And I think we forget sometimes who the real victims are. And it's people like me who see the word FIFA. I know that word means football. There's a secret history that you guys know all about. I have no idea what's going on. I thought they got arrested because all their migrant workers were dying all over the place. That's apparently not the problem.
No, that's fine. No one has raised... No, that's fine.
We went for the 2018 bid, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we've got loads of dodgy bankers, but who did we put up for the 2018 bid? David Beckham and Prince William. If our bid had been hosted by Nick Leeson, leading a delegate of Barclays and RBS, we'd have got the 2018 and 2022 World Cup.
Yeah.
You can't give it to Qatar, this place in the middle of the desert that has no prior connection with football, and not expect people to get suspicious. But like giving Ali Jones a Mobo.
But Sepp Blatter, what's Sepp Blatter's response to this now?
Well, Sepp Blatter, he's gone and resigned, hasn't he? But he's not going for a while.
No.
But you're thinking he's not going to get much of a leaving present, is he? When they pass round that envelope round the office, they're all just going to be taking money out.
I don't know if he's really going to leave. I mean, he said, what, December?
Yeah.
That's a smart move. you get to December and you're mentally, but everyone's full of Christmas spirit. And you get to pull the old, you want to fire an old man at Christmas, would you? So, for a year.
Do you know, it's very difficult stepping down, though, isn't it? It's very difficult. And do you know what would have helped him step down a lot quicker? A SIP ladder.
Yeah. Well done.
You knew it was coming. They had to, didn't they?
I'm impressed you waited that long, to be honest. I really am.
Probably been pointed out that Chuck Blazer, who's got the mobility scooter with the parrot and an afro that goes all the way around his face, is the one that was undercover.
Do you think when he... Because they wired him up, like, whatever.
And
That he had it just in his beard, and then he would wink to people and go, "Oh, say nothing," and lifted his beard, and then like a small man with a boom mic just sitting in his beard. let me turn off the parrot's recording equipment.
The parrot, his wife would have taught the parrot to go, "He's wearing a wire! He's wearing a wire!"
Was it not that he didn't need to wear a wire, it's just the parrot would repeat it all back when they left?
Also, they would be... surely when the FBI were listening back to the tapes of Blazer, the first half hour was just his colleagues making fun of his appearance.
Sorry, squiggle, squiggle, you wrote Game of Thrones. Squiggle, 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 squiggle. You're Santa Claus. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle.
Good to see David Bellamy's in town.
Also in the news this week, who can tell me what's going on here?
Is that Barack Obama playing pretzel buckaroo?
Or is Barack shaking the hand of the very pretzel that choked George W. Bush?
It's like a German version of Come Dine With Me. Angela has broken all the plates and is serving the pretzels on a mug tray.
Is Angela Merkel saying to Barack Obama, "Well, Barack, you must prepare for the worst"? Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Welcome to 1970s comedy.
They also, the FBI x-rayed his sausages and his pretzel before he was allowed to eat them. Presumably, obviously, because a wayward pretzel led to the demise, almost of George Bush, and a wayward sausage almost led to the demise of Bill Clinton.
Almost then. Everyone looks happy, apart from Angela Merkel's husband, who looks like he's attempting to move the pretzels with his mind.
Because he liked the fact the guy didn't just have a brush on his hat, but he jazzed it up with 4 badges as well. It's quite a look.
That's amazing.
When you wear a hat like that, you don't expect there to be 5 other people at the table wearing that hat. Turn up and go, you got to be joking. I know this myself out of stuff I found in the garden. You can't possibly... Oh.
The danger of drinking at 11 in the morning at the G7 is that by the time you get to the final communique, it reads, I love you. This is the best G7 I've ever been to.
Dear Putin, miss you.
Do you reckon they had to do that thing because, like, the others hadn't turned up? Obama had to text David Cameron and said, "I'd get on it on the train, mate. Because we are going to be hammered by the time you get here. I'd get a couple of those small gin and tonics if I was you, because Angela is almost sideways already."
Hang on, is this the G7 where 5 of the others have yet to arrive?
Yeah, but Obama's done it...
Obama's just kind of sitting with Mr. and Mrs. Merkel going, "Where are you?" We said 11 o'clock. Why the man with the squirrel hat? What are you? I'm on my own? What are you doing? Don't leave me here on my own?
He's having a nice time. No breakfast is ever made better by Stephen Harper or David Cameron showing up to it. It's not like he's waiting to start the party when Cameron gets there.
Oi, oi!
From the other side, they all turn and Cameron's like, "What is... Here it comes!"
Strutting down, knocking pretzels out of people's hands. His fucking hat!
I bet Cameron's got 7 nickname T-shirts in the back of his bag.
Misdemeanor.
Captain Austerity's here!
The merchster, put it on, put it on, put it on.
You put it on, you put it on. He's like that, he does bring the party. So who was noticeably absent from the G7?
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, and he would bring the party.
Check emails again. Maybe in junk folder there is invitation.
That's the saddest picture I've ever seen. I think out of shot he's looking at one of those brush hats that he bought for the event.
That's why they had beers. That's why they had beers early, so they could go, oh, mate, you missed the best one ever. He was wasted by 3 o'clock. I got off with Merkel.
I like to think that... Because Putin's not going to take it very well, but I like to think that he had his own G1 summit.
He said only an insane man in a dream would think that Russia would attack NATO. And you wondered, actually, whether he had, in fact, had that dream himself. And he was giving the rest of the world a bit of a heads-up on his current mental state.
Yeah, because he's insane. That'd be like, you can't say that about yourself. That'd be like saying, only a total legend to come back from the bar with 8 Jaeger bombs.
Oh, David Cameron, you've done it again. Wait, there's only 6 here. It's a long walk. At the end of that round, the points go to Joshua and James. Now we play a round called I Can't Believe It's Not Blatter. This game involves Matt and James, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is interviews. Who wants to come in that?
OK.
Matt.
Go for that. It's fascinating watching different politicians and how they deal with interviews. Ed Miliband, when he gets asked a question he doesn't like, will just have this amazing technique where he'll just ask himself a new question and answer that instead. And it really works. He got asked before the election by Nick Robinson. Mr Miliband, you've said you'll set a new mansion tax if you become Prime Minister, but you won't yet tell us at what rate you would set it. And Miliband just went, look, Nick, if you're asking me, have I got a plan for the housing market, then the answer's yes. It's amazing. Farage is one of the best ones at it, because no matter what you ask him, he'll get a political answer in some way. You could say, Nigel, what you had for breakfast, mate? And he'd go, tea, toast and the Telegraph, Great British breakfast. He always manages to get his messages across. Boris Johnson is fascinating because he just loves avoiding questions, and he uses a twin-track approach of flattery and Latin. And this genuinely works. If he was here now, you could say, Boris, come on, just admit it. You want to be Prime Minister. And he'd go, oh, no, let me just say, great to be here amongst such great learned people on this crucible of culture. Reminds me very much of a phrase my father used to use, divitas, divitum, rectum.
Well done, Matt. Very good. OK, so James is left. Let's see what he's been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is Britain.
I wish I was Mexican. Love everything about... I love Mexican food. My favourite place to eat is a Mexican restaurant called Oaxaca. All you need to know about Oaxaca, everyone steals their spoons. So much so that every January, Oaxaca have a spoon amnesty on. You bring back one of the stolen spoons, and then they reward you with free tacos. Genius. Not only do they get their spoons back, they also get to watch while the thieves eat tacos, which I imagine have been interfered with beyond belief. Love Mexican food, love Mexican music. Mariachi music, best music in the world. Top 3 mariachi songs. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3, Nothing, 'cause there are no other mariachi songs. Ever been to a mariachi nightclub? It's full of people just going up to the DJ like, hey man, have you got yeah, I'll play it next. How about open your ears, I'm playing it right now. You can request that song during the next one. Growing up in school, I was the only kid in my whole school who liked mariachi music. It was a nightmare. I couldn't walk down the corridor without some knob knocking my sombrero off my head. Stepping on the back of my poncho on the way in a maths class. Once, a kid wrote Chimichanga Bum Boy across my forehead while I was having my post-lunch siesta. He also drew a moustache on my face, but to be fair, that played into my hands.
Very good. It's close, but for sticking to the topic, James Acaster gets the points. Well done to both of you. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, excellent. Politics it is. The answer is 5. But what is the question?
The amount of times a minute Ed Miliband remembers that stone.
Is it, if I've got a tenner and want to book a boy band for my wedding, who can I afford?
Everybody get up.
Is it what does Nigel Farage regard as an acceptable level of immigration?
Is it how many snazzy ties did I try on before the show?
No.
What is the maximum number of euros you can get out of a Greek cash point at the moment?
Is it, if I'm watching a documentary on Adolf Hitler's favourite shark, which channel am I watching?
What would be a cracking score for a UK entry in Eurovision?
Is it how many of the famous 5 are now dead?
Surely not.
I didn't want to break it to you like this.
Julian is just sitting quietly in a rocking chair, remembering the adventures and going...
Laughing because he killed them all.
Is it how many basic bitches does it take to escort Kate Moss off an EasyJet flight?
Is that a thing? Is that like a...
I'm a pretty basic bitch.
I think you're an ornate bitch, right? I think
You think I'm a ratchet-ass hoe?
Well, I didn't want to make it too obvious, so I've got a little soft spot for you.
Is it how many presenters from the 1970s are relaxed when the phone rings now?
Is it how many names are currently written on Taylor Swift's blank space?
Is it as a...
I know it's a song. I know Taylor Swift.
You know Taylor
Taylor's
Swift?
gonna hate.
Is this what we do? If ever we mention any band and you're going to do an impression?
No, that's not what's going to happen here.
Is it Kate Bush?
One quick impression.
The Village People.
NWA.
I think it is how many candidates are there in the Labour leadership?
Absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Hugh. Yes, correct. Yes. The question I was looking for is how many candidates have put themselves forward for the leadership of the Labour Party? Liz Kendall, Andy Burnham, Yvette Cooper, Mary Creagh and Jeremy Corbyn have all announced their candidacies. Kendall, Burnham and Cooper have already won the support of enough MPs to secure their place in the ballot. The other two have yet to. If you'd like to be reminded of their faces, why don't we have a look at them now? There's this person, and then there's this guy, and what's her face? And then your one, and that guy. So that's your lineup right there.
The man from Del Monte.
It's the Labour leadership election, and you hope for the sake of Labour that they actually do win this election. I mean, it'd be very embarrassing for them if they don't manage to win this one, won't it? You know,
could go either way.
5 of them standing, and then just at the last moment, the Conservatives pick them to it. So, fingers crossed.
Do you not think, though, as we're discussing the Labour leadership, this is the point in the programme to say, viewers in Scotland have your own programme?
The favourite is Andy Burnham.
Possibly, yeah.
He lost the last time to Ed Miliband.
Yes.
This is a man who is less popular than Ed Miliband. They might as well just disband the party now.
I enjoyed watching Miliband, though. A lot of people said he didn't have a personality. He had all sorts of physical tics. I loved that thing that he'd do where, after each sentence, he would look as if though he'd heard someone's phone go off in the audience. He'd go, look, there's a cost of living crisis in this country.
I thought you'd be okay until that big stone appeared. Until that
the
giant
stone.
monolith appeared.
But he's got a lovely gravel driveway now, hasn't he?
They claim that it hasn't. I'd give them 40 quid for it because I just want a rockery with the words control on immigration built into the rockery. That'd be just a bizarre...
It's because his advisors said that his policies need to be available on tablet.
Oh, come on! It was just... But the crushing literalism of these policies are written in stone, so I know we'll literally write them in stone. Like, I mean, no. That's like going, oh, there are lines in the sand I would not cross. Bring me the sand! Yeah, oh, I'm trapped on the other side of the line in sand. I can't get out. I can't get over the line in the sand.
You realise that Andy Burnham's watching this going, that's a hell of an idea.
That's fantastic. Sand everywhere.
Did you see that Nigel Farage story? So it was the day before the election, someone had stopped him in Ramsgate and called him a racist, sexist, homophobic ex-banker. And he'd replied that he'd been a commodities broker.
Nigel Farage was described by his campaign spokesman after the election, said he was snarling, thin-skinned, aggressive during the election campaign, but people didn't know that he was actually on temazepam, was he, during the election campaign, Nigel Farage?
Because of his back?
Yeah, he had a bad back, couldn't sleep at all. But he should have let more people know, shouldn't he? You know, could have just come up with a new campaign slogan, UKIP, I can't.
Douglas Carswell, who's their only MP left now, said, I think Nigel needs 2 weeks off, because he didn't dare say, I think he needs to resign, but... Because they're worried, actually, that he's becoming too right-wing. But what is 2 weeks on holiday going to achieve? He's not going to come back through customs with a sombrero on going, you know what? Some of them are all right.
Ed Miliband went on holiday to Ibiza.
You came at big time.
He's lost election, not failed his A-levels.
He should have taken the laugh in it, yeah.
Photos coming back of him straw-pedoing a reef on Facebook.
Yeah, the last thing you need in a foam party would just be his face popping out of it.
You've got to say about not having character. People like Farage, because he had the pint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, if Miliband had done shots... all the
Nobody
time.
took shots. Nobody grabbed shots as their thing. No, you're absolutely right.
Always, like, during anything, if he's, like, doing a debate or a press conference, every time someone mentions NHS, he's got to do a shot.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, well, a bell goes off.
That's how he could campaign against the SNP, because they're anti-nukes. It'd be very simple. You could get, look, the SNP want to ban the bomb, but there's one bomb they'll never ban. The Jaeger bomb.
At the end of that round. Boys go to Mark, Catherine and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is commercials that never made it to air.
Fungal foot problem.
Have you been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Of course you have, because that is the definition of an accident.
FIFA Summer Sofa Sale. Total office clear out. Bribe now, pay later.
Andrex, because who wouldn't want to wipe their arse with a puppy?
Carlsberg don't do your girlfriend, but I have.
What's that? Yeah, mate, I got some bad news about your dad.
Why pay more for ratchet, trifling-ass pilots when you can get to where you're going on EasyJet? A basic bitch will get you there.
We call it a Happy Meal. The cow we killed wasn't too chuffed, though.
Waitrose, 2 for the price of 3.
We had debts all over the place, but Wonga took all those debts and put them in one simple loan. They also took a house.
Are your vet's bills getting on top of you? Then why not try Dognatas?
Want to save money on biscuits? Easy. Give blood.
From Laboratoire Garnier, Paris. Because if we said it was from Unit 5 of a Luton industrial estate, you wouldn't buy it, would you?
Struggling to sleep? Why not try 10 cans of Stella?
Did you mistake your girlfriend for a burglar on Valentine's Day? Then you need to go to Specsavers.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
The Lynx effect.
That one's accent is a bit more racist than that one's accent. There you go. Just compared the meerkats.
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
Hi, is that NHS Direct? Yeah, a bit of a temperature and I've got an alien coming out of my stomach. 2 paracetamol, OK.
OK, Mr. Zulu. Set course for the 4th quadrant to the Orion Nebula. I think there's a Nando's there.
We're sorry to announce that there is a replacement beam down service this weekend between the ship and the planet Splooge.
You've got to imagine this in a Scottish accent. This is our Independence Day! There you go.
They abducted us and took us to their spacecraft, and then they explored our bodies with strange probes. I'll be honest, it was the best stag night I'd ever been on.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up. You can tie your shoes. Reem.
What the people don't know, Captain Kirk, is that when I do that V thing, that means in Vulcan, I've had your mum.
I think this time tunnel is broken. We have gone 1,000 years into the future and Bruce Forsyth is still working.
If you take the red pill, you will enter the Matrix. If you take the blue pill, you will have a boner for 7 hours.
This is it. The machines are taking over. Hashtag apocalypse.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, mate. The problem is your nano boosters are shot and your warp drive is fucked.
Our planet is dying. We seek a new home. Which of you is Phil and which of you is Kirsty?
The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
So the plan is you get in the time machine, go back in time and cock-block Hitler's dad.
Phone home. Phone in Joan. No, phone home.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Matt, Catherine and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are James Acaster, Hugh Dennis and Josh Widdicombe. commiserations to Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Matt Ford. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Tiff Stevenson and Rob Beckett, Ramesh Ranganathan, Hugh Dennis and Miles Jupp. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Tiff, which category would you like?
I'll go for home news.
OK, home news is the category. The answer is 1/3. What is the question?
Is it how much of a bottle of vodka I'd have to drink before I found Lewis Hamilton even vaguely interesting?
Is it how many of this week's news stories lend themselves to comedy?
It's been that kind of 3 weeks, really, hasn't it, Andy? Yes.
Is it how much of Greece can you buy for £1?
Is it how much of Kim Kardashian is made up of arse?
Is it, of all of the children that I taught maths to, which proportion of them genuinely had a future?
Is it what emoticon would I use to tell someone that I've wrapped a rubber band around my scrotum?
Is it what I'm always missing from a threesome?
Is it FIFA's target survival rate for stadium workers at the World Cup?
Is it, according to legend, how much of you is your head?
Yes. It should be noted.
I'll tell you what it could be, answer. What proportion of that team have I seen completely butt naked?
Yeah. Can we? Are there any who've got any answers to a question? I feel like I'm to ask for 10 minutes.
Is it how many of the words spoken by Kanye West are about Kanye West?
Is it? The way you pronounce Kanye West is incredible.
Well,
it's like you're asking somebody if they're able to West. Like...
Is it think of a fraction that rhymes with the word bird? Is it think of a fraction that rhymes with the word herd?
No.
Is it think of a fraction that rhymes with the word interred?
No.
Is it think of a fraction that sounds funny if you say it with an Irish accent?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was waiting for you to do. Yeah. Think of a fraction that I say is 1/3.
What a funny country.
You're not on Radio 4 yet.
I do. This is genuinely the correct answer.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
What proportion of the works planned by Network Rail have already gone wrong or over budget?
There absolutely is the question I was looking for.
I wouldn't have got that, mate. I wouldn't have got that.
Yes. The question I was looking for was, how many of its targets has Network Rail already missed 1 year into a 5-year rail improvement plan? This is the news. The large part of a £38 billion project to modernise Britain's railways has been put on hold as a result of delays, missed targets and overspending. How bad is the situation?
The one thing that I don't know how many of you use the train all the time, but it is such an infuriating service, and so infuriating, that if you go to any station, they have signs up telling you that they don't accept abuse of the staff, physical or verbal or whatever. They are offering a service that is so shit, they have to remind you not to kill members of their staff.
So basically, 30 years on, we've realised privatising the National Rail Service wasn't the right thing to do, was it? Nice one, Thatcher. Politics.
Really good, man. I wouldn't like to be Margaret Thatcher right now watching this show.
Not all of the money that we put in actually goes to improving the rail services. Some of it goes to improving people like Richard Branson, who's in fact had so much of our money, his firm shouldn't be called Virgin, should it? It should be called Slag.
The guy that they've got to take over, because they sacked the network chief, didn't they? And they replaced him with a guy called Sir Peter Hendy, right? Yeah. And they've put him on £500,000 a year salary, and his instructions is to get a grip on the spiralling costs of improving the rail network. How is he going to know about money management, right? His grandfather was a baron. He's from an estate, not that kind. It's kind of like hiring 20,000 pigeons to work out why Nelson's column is covered in shit.
Here's another tip. You know, if you're going to be head of the railways, don't dress up as a fat controller.
In sports news, who denied cheating before Wimbledon had even started?
This is Novak Djokovic.
Yes, it is.
Who had been accused of being coached during matches. And you're not actually allowed to be coached from the sidelines during matches. This was actually a rule brought in to protect British players during Wimbledon, to prevent them getting worse during the actual games themselves.
How's it cheating, telling him what to do? What is he telling him he don't already know? Going, oh, what you want to do is...
You've got to say different
hit it back really hard where he isn't standing. Cheers, mate, I didn't think of that, thanks.
There's always loads of cheating in tennis, though. I remember once I saw a man who was actually keeping extra balls in his pocket.
Wimbledon's so posh, though, because even the ball boys have the balls posh. When they pick the balls up, they just go... What's that? Why can't I just throw it back to him? He gets the ball, they go... What's that about? The thing is, I love if the ball boys, if they had done like jury service where anyone just got picked at random to do it, rather than all these little posh kids, just like a rude boy, just going, I'll leave it out, bruv, I ain't getting your fucking ball. 30 degrees, bruv.
How might this tournament make history?
Heat wave.
Yeah, heat wave. It may be the hottest ever, yes.
They're so hot, they're advising nans just to wear one coat. Pretty warm.
The Wimbledon authorities apparently are going to take extra care of the elderly in the crowd at Wimbledon. But obviously not the same at Glastonbury, is it? There they make the elderly actually get up on stage.
I love it on the weather when it's hot. They always go, oh, Hull is actually hotter than Marrakesh. I'm still not going there on my holiday.
In other news, who is a big hit with Japanese women?
Japanese men.
No, actually, surprisingly.
Is it the gorilla that's really fit?
There's a gorilla. Yes, it is. There's a fit gorilla. There's a gorilla who moved from Australia to Japan in 2007 and has attracted a lot of admirers among young Japanese women who describe him as too handsome. He's referred to as an ikemen, which is slang for handsome guy. I've got a slightly creepy story, but let's see, his name's Shabani. I mean, all you need is like a slogan that goes, which one of us is really in a cage? You know, this is another one of them looking, you know... I mean, this is a good-looking gorilla, you know? I dare you to swipe left, right that underneath, and then you're... There's another one of them here, look.
He's got some junk in his trunk.
He's not necessarily sexually attractive, but it would be nice to be held by him.
Like, if I had to have sex with an animal, I'd have a flamingo. I'm a leg man. Yeah.
You particularly like when one leg is like up underneath the...
Yeah, it's a bit saucy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like,
go on,
come and see where my other leg is.
Put one leg up.
I know where your leg is, don't you worry about that. Marshy.
Wet. You ain't got one leg, you slag.
Can I just say we're totally objectifying this gorilla? And I'm loving it.
It's like he's about to go, yes, Sigourney Weaver was wonderful to work with, yeah.
Part of my craft is I'm the weaver of stories and the teller of tales. Kim and Paul's got Rob, Tiff and Andy! Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is... magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
OK.
Tiff.
As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? And magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Tiff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not, like, in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. I said, now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I don't mean really hurt, I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to Tiff Davidson. Come on back, both of you. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Has he just realised he's the only black person at Glastonbury?
He's certainly finding that desert camouflage wear is ineffective in Somerset.
He's rather usually gone for the triple denim, which is a look that no one has gambled with before.
Is it man survives nuclear holocaust by offering oral sex to strangers?
Is he rocking triple denim?
Yeah. Yes, I just said that.
Yeah. Sorry, I only just realised.
He's literally rocking the triple denim look.
I'll tell you, I've just noticed something. He's wearing triple denim, isn't he, Dara?
You see that, Dara?
Has somebody just asked him if he's able to West or not?
And also, I'm not sure this is relevant to it, but I'm almost certain that Kanye West was one of Labour's target seats in the last election.
Is it a brutal moment of self-realisation? Is this the exact moment when he suddenly thinks, am I a dick? I'm not being fair. I don't really know who he is.
Is it Kanye West's controversial headline set at Glastonbury?
It is, of course. Thank you very much, Ramesh. That's right. Yes, this is a picture of Kanye West performing at Glastonbury Festival this weekend, headlining the Pyramid Stage on Saturday night. The rapper told the crowd, "You are now watching the greatest living rock star on the planet." To which the entire crowd went, "Oh my God, who's dead?"
He wasn't the biggest rock star in Somerset.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't the biggest rock star in that field at that time.
Literally.
Let alone the planet, yeah.
He also described himself as the new Warhol, and I think we misheard him a bit there.
130,000 people signed a pledge, didn't they, to try and get him replaced? And there was a moment, wasn't there, when that crane hoisted him above the crowd that I actually thought they'd achieved their aim for a moment.
On the coverage of this, I was kind of on the social media coverage. There was one bloke who said the only way he got through his set, this bloke's set, was when he realised that Kanye West is an anagram of Sweaty Ken.
I bumped into Rob at Glastonbury. He was so excited about being there. You should have seen his little face.
So, I agreed to do Glastonbury because it said you're on at 12:50. What I didn't read was AM. I was expecting a nice little midday gig, and I was there for 12 hours before I was on. And if you do a poo there, you have to... The toilets, basically the toilets, is scaffold over wheelie bins, and there's a hole over each wheelie bin. You have to take a cup of mud with you. There's bags of mud, and then you do a poo, and you have to pour your mud over your poo. I felt like a cat.
Are you telling me that your cat can hold a cup? That toilet situation is just so you've got scaffolding and you've got wheelie bins underneath.
Yeah, 1/3 of the toilets were kind of essentially a compost heap. So they wanted to recycle they could use as the human waste as it. Yeah. So they had people with sand or soil or whatever.
Well, why do you need fertiliser over that? All everyone's having all weekend it's cider and kebabs. What are you trying to grow with that? What are they trying to grow? People to go on Jeremy Kyle?
My mum had a house in Sri Lanka, and she had one of those toilets that just goes straight... The poops go straight into the ground, and that she had mango trees behind the toilet. The mangoes were absolutely enormous. I've never seen... They were much bigger behind the toilet than they were anywhere else in that whole bit. But my mum didn't allow us to eat them because she said they're poor mangoes. No, we weren't...
My God, if you package them up in Waitrose, middle-class people were smothering... These are poo mangoes. They're the only mangoes I get.
Oh, no! I ordered from Ocado. They've substituted my poo mangoes for shitty beans. That's not fair.
Every time I have a mango, I think of your mum having a poo. Poo mango. It's your fault.
Hold on a second, mate. Hold on a second. I said I took a poo, and now you've made the leap, just brought my mum into the situation.
She has shits now and again.
My mum has never shit in her life, mate. How dare you talk like that about my mother?
My mum's ruined mangoes, my dad's ruined baths. Between us, we're killing this country.
Oh, I think we've just scraped off a layer there. Is that a story from your childhood? What's going on?
A couple of weeks ago from the
I see. Oh, right. Don't watch myself.
No, I know. Both the Dalai Lama and Kanye West were at this year's festival, which is allowing us to play a little game of Dalai Lama or Kanye. Who said it? Can you have to guess which of the two headliners said this phrase? First one is, "I am God's vessel."
Kanye. It's got to be Kanye.
You got Kanye?
Yeah, go for
I'm going for the Dalai Lama.
Being that he may be an incarnation of himself.
I'm going for the cat. If he can hold a cup, he can say that as well.
I'm glad that was actually said by Kanye West.
Well done.
Our work is never over.
I think it's Network Rail.
Mr. Llama.
You going for Llama?
Mr. Llama.
Mr. Llama. There you go. So the standards here. Our work is never over, of course, is the words of Kanye West. And probably the most difficult one to answer is I don't know what's better, getting laid or getting paid. DL.
Just lift up one
Llama. Spit in your face. I'm Peruvian. I'm the Llama. No, it is, of course, Hugh Dennis. Which England team has made history this week?
This is the women's football team, isn't it?
Yeah, now obviously we record this on a Tuesday. By the time the show goes out on Thursday, they may or may not have beaten Japan in the semi-final of the World Cup. Either way, they'll be playing at the weekend, either for third or for first. But still...
it's amazing that they've managed to do something that the men's football team have never done, and that is reach the semi-final of the World Cup without crying. So...
They said that's right. It's the first semi-final of a major tournament, and they said this is memories of 1966. But if you look at the semi-final lineup, actually, it's England and USA versus Germany and Japan. That is memories of 1945. It's amazing.
In other news, who or what had an emotional send-off this week?
This was the last episode of Top Gear.
Yes. Well, no, it's not the last episode of Top Gear. It's the last episode of them doing
Why did
Top
you
Gear.
say yes, then?
Because I caught myself and went, it's not that. I, like Shabani, can change my mind occasionally. We didn't do it like that, did we? No.
Oh, you should.
No,
let's see it.
I get the Megabus guy, but I don't get the good-looking gorilla.
Do it again.
When you do your hand thing, it does look a bit Shabani.
In other news, who or what had an emotional send-off this week?
Well, it was almost the last episode of Top Gear.
Completely different.
Yeah. Did you even see it? Did you see it anyway?
It ended on a cliffhanger, didn't it?
It didn't.
Yeah, Quentin Wilson came out the shower and said it was all a dream.
Now it's finished. Is it Clarkson or May who gets custody of Hammond?
I'm presuming they don't even saw it because I watched everything. I used to quite enjoy the show, but it was at the end they said the two of them. It was just the two of them. Clarkson obviously wasn't there, and they said, "So thank you very much for watching, and good night." And it went to the titles, and it was like silent, and then the words moved up the screen on a black screen silently, and you're going, Jesus, who's dead? We should end that. I didn't know you could end. I didn't know you could do that somber ending. Like when I left The Apprentice last year, I would have demanded that goodbye, and then just like Russian piano music and hundreds of black and white shots of me looking people saluting as Jeremy Clarkson is lowered onto Netflix. At the end of that round, the points go to Ramesh and Miles. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greeting cards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sorry you're dead. What can you do?
Sorry you're leaving, and sorry to break it to you in such a cowardly fashion.
Happy Father's Day, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Roses are red, violets are red, the greenhouse is red. I think I'm bleeding to death.
At this difficult time, I'm thinking of you, wearing suspenders and a mask.
I saw this and thought of you. Blank inside.
My feelings can't be put into words, although the judge did describe them as inappropriate.
That was a scrape. Congratulations on your circumcision.
Congratulations, you did it. And we'll prove it. The Crown Prosecution Service.
It's a girl, not a woman, which is why you're going to prison.
With deepest sympathies for the loss of your grandmother. / happy housewarming.
You've passed. Away.
21 years, and this time you'll probably die in prison.
To our darling son, on your 21st birthday, now get the fuck out of our house.
Please help me. I'm trapped inside a North Korean card factory. Also, Iron Man says happy 4th birthday.
Roses are red, violets are blue. When you go down on me, please don't chew.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark, and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara Ó Briain.
Hello, my name's Dara Ó Briain. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara Ó Briain. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. Ó Briain, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
OK, well done, Dylan. Points got a wrong issue and Miles. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ramesh Ranganathan, Hugh Dennis and Miles Jupp. Congratulations to Andy Parsons, Tiff Stevenson and Rob Beckett. Thanks for watching. I'm John. Actually, no, hang on. Yeah, right. Because I didn't know you were allowed to do this. Apparently, you can just do this. Like, we won't be back on again for another week. So, you know, thank you for watching. Good night. Thanks. Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining this week are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and James Acaster, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
I will have world news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is 1.6 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many immigrants are so lazy they haven't even bothered to come over here?
Is it what in decibels is Brian Blessed?
Is it when they go back to us, how many drachma will there be to the euro?
For about a week or so.
How many Scottish people now say they voted yes in the referendum?
Is it what was the crucial missing ingredient from England's bid for the 2022 World Cup?
Is it how much are cats owed in YouTube advertising?
Is it when I went on Dragon's Den, how much did I want for a 2% share in my body hoover business?
James, talk numbers. How many? What's your turnover?
Well, Deborah. I haven't really got the numbers in my head. That's what they say, isn't it?
Right, I'm out.
That usually gets...
Is it what is the count in Sesame Street up to now?
We think he's just somewhere in a bar, just still counting. Just tiny Transylvanian puppet in a bar. 1.5.
If you go and use a Glastonbury toilet, is it how many people seem to have used that toilet before you have?
Is it what number, when typed into a calculator and turned upside down, becomes, ooh, GI?
Is it after you've popped, how many Pringles can you eat before you must stop?
Is it, since I started this sentence, how much further has Greece got into debt?
It's to do with Greece, clearly, yes. We're all dancing around. What is 1.6 billion?
This is the amount in euros that Greece is supposed to pay back to the IMF by the 30th of June.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Sarah Pascoe. Well done. The question I was looking for was how much money in euros does Greece need to repay to the International Monetary Fund by the 30th of June, that's next Tuesday, or risk crashing out of the Eurozone?
But it is a loan, isn't it? What they've got is a loan. I think it might solve itself. Are we certain they haven't got PPI? Just on the day before they have to pay back, Alexander Tsipras, the Greek Prime Minister, gets a phone call saying, "We have been trying to contact you."
That's the Greek PM. Well, he seems thrilled with that particular development.
He looks so coy. He literally looks like that is the face that people do when you go up to him and go, "Where's my money?" He's like, "Money?"
Lots of ways of raising money, though, aren't there? I would have thought. They've got lots of stuff.
Yeah.
They could have a big episode of the Antiques Roadshow. They'd raise quite a lot of money.
They could use plastic plates at weddings. That'd save a lot of money.
And then if they fail, what's the term called for what will happen to them?
Grexit.
Grexit.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
It's a great term, isn't it?
I don't like it being shortened, because I like it when the papers call it a messy Greek exit, because that sounds like a pornography description.
I like when they say the Greeks have been warned of Grexit. Like, you know, Grexit is this thing which is going to emerge from the sea in a kind of with his eyes so red and a scary nose and a horrible waters, horrible toes. The Grexit.
Brexit just also sounds like the door on the way out of a Greggs, doesn't it? That's what confuses me about it. Don't they have that above the door in Greggs?
If you eat yourself to death on pasties, that's a Grexit, I think.
This, by the way, is not Greggs in Athens. This is people going, my money, please.
I've seen queues like that in Leicester Square on a Saturday night.
Not into a bank, presumably.
I've seen long queues at cash machines just on busy nights.
They might be going
many times
for a bed and a
It means
bath.
nothing. You're playing into the hands of the European Commission and their misinformation. Shit, I don't know what happened there.
You're telling me that essentially all these people are on a night out and they just want a few quid. There are crisis negotiations taking place between the IMF and, well, the troika of different bodies who've lent money to them and to the Greeks, and I think the Greeks will win the negotiation, and I'm willing to go on the line for this, because with only some time to go during the negotiation, with the Greeks going, please, give us a bail us out, bail us out, bail us out, all they need to do, they've got one card that the Greeks can play, which is they can play that music, which means you will eventually, because it just starts like it's just quietly in the background, just slowly, give us some money, no. Give us some money, no. Give us some money, no. And then over time, slowly the pressure builds on this music until eventually it's like, give us some money, no. Give us some money, no. Give us some money, no. And eventually, I believe it gets us faster and faster until, you know, give us some money, 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 go. And then you have the cash, take the cash and go. Leave me alone. It's just fine. Really, I just wanted you to spend the rest of the evening going ding, 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 ding.
Could you hear that as well? I was worried there for a second.
So this is all, I find it really confusing when it's like the money and the economics of it. So actually, it does become a lot easier if you convert it to alcohol and think that the ECB is a brewery and the EU is a pub and all of the countries put their alcohol behind the bar, but we need more drink. But the only way we can make more drink is if we water it down. And Germany won't let us do that, and they're in charge because they make the best drink, which is beer. Greece only have ouzo, which is the worst drink, and we knew they only had ouzo and we shouldn't have let them join the pub, but we did because we were hammered. Who hasn't met the wrong person in when they were drunk, eh, girls? So, and now, I mean, Greece has passed out, it's too drunk, and Germany's trying to sober them up. And why can't we just kick them out of the bar? Oh, because they've started a tab and not on their cards? Like, we all started a joint account for some reason.
And this is supposed to have simplified things in your head.
I've got the solution. So it's all much neater now. And the solution is we should let Weatherspoons sort it out.
Did they not withdraw €4 billion or something last week? I mean, it's a real genuine problem.
People taking all the money out.
And then they started hiding the money. Everybody started hiding cash. And they say in secret places in the article I read.
They're hiding their money in frozen chickens. This was the strangest hiding place they had, where they put them in the freezer and they put the money into the chicken.
We shouldn't know about that. But that's the whole point of hiding is it's a secret.
Yeah.
We live in England and we know where they've hid their money. It should not have got back to me. Can we play the music again?
Oh, I love the music. Yeah, let's do it. One more time. The middle bit.
Just the show started again.
Oh my God, this is so They're going faster than us. They're going too fast.
Table take our combined weight.
Flip the table over to you. We'll try. We can flip it.
I'm sure the people of Greece will be absolutely delighted.
There is an issue, obviously, of how it's going to affect holidaymakers and British tourists going over. There was a statement there that said that holidaymakers should bring over cash on this specifically, and the statement came from muggers.
Travel agents suggested that people bring cash and credit cards or debit cards. So there's my plan to use magic beans as currency. What did you think we were bringing?
Also, guys, if you're planning a holiday, think about getting a passport.
Yes. I would imagine if you arrived in Athens Customs and said, do I have a passport? No. But I have money! Make it rain, bitches! Make it rain!
Scrabbling around with their chickens.
I wonder why people are going on holiday to Greece. And people are going, oh, well, it's cheap sunshine. But you're thinking, well, Syria is cheap sunshine, isn't it? I mean, OK, you don't maybe get the level of service there, but just think of the number of people that will be at the UK airport to greet you on your return home.
I mean, it has got fantastic weather, it's got beautiful beaches, it's got fantastic food. And if you are eating out in Greece, my advice would be try the chicken.
I'm sure the people of Greece would be absolutely delighted.
Well, I'm sure they're going, well, the one thing we have is Muck the Week. Oh, for fuck's sake. During this difficult time, the one thing we've always been able to rely on is but now they're doing our dance wrong, incorrectly. Because that music comes on, I still do lobster hands for some random reason. I keep doing this, like it's a pincer dance. Oh! Not getting closer. Now we play a round called Your Grexits Are Here, Here and Here. This game involves James and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched the Wheel of News, and whoever chooses to stop, one of the performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is parties. Who wants to go in that? James.
I went to a surprise party recently for my friend Daryl. We were all in his living room, all of us, in the dark, hiding. His girlfriend turned to us all, she went, right, he's going to be here in a minute. When he gets in, everyone jump out, yell surprise, and that will be really surprising. I argued it'd be a lot more surprising if instead of making all that commotion, we all just stood there in his living room in the dark, just... When he comes in and turns the lights on, see how surprised he is then? It's a good party. I schmoozed. I'm good at schmoozing. Buttering people up. I'll give you some schmoozing tips, why not? A lot of people will tell you when you're schmoozing, have a good icebreaker, right? Break the ice. What they won't tell you, at the end of the conversation, unbreak the ice. You don't want anyone else swooping in, taking advantage of all the lovely little ice cubes that you created. So freeze it over again before you leave. So as you're leaving, just slide something under the fence, like death comes to us all, something like that.
So, Gary's left. Let's see what topic you have, Gary. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is childhood.
I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. And apparently, at the moment, she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. love that. Every Christmas Day, we'd always have pigs in blankets, or as you probably call them, relatives sleeping in the spare room. Winnie the Pooh, possibly the most vindictive chapter in Nelson Mandela's autobiography. It was only after I shot the 5th zombie that I started to wonder why they were all carrying bags of sweets and ringing my doorbell. I've been trying to recapture my lost youth. I really must get that cellar door fixed. One time when I was a kid, I bought a chocolate bar. On the inside of the wrapper, it said, "You're a loser." I wouldn't mind if there'd been some sort of competition on. To make things worse, it was a boost. As a family, we couldn't decide whether to have Nana buried or cremated, so in the end, we let her live. My 13-year-old cousin's already started taking heroin. It's amazing, isn't it? They shoot up so fast these days.
Oh, God. Very good. I'm going to go to Lady. Everyone come back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what is going on here?
Is he going, do you want to know why I'm called Trump? Pull my finger.
This is taken at Comic-Con, and this is actually a guest appearance by Sloth from the Goonies.
Are you sure he's not just showing how he got the money into the chicken?
You really got to get it up there, right? You really just got to get it up there. Up there. That's it.
They've asked him, Donald, how many Mexican immigrants is too many?
Is the caption, "What's orange, angry and never going to be president"?
No, the picture is Donald Trump has announced he's standing for the Republican nomination as president in the election this year.
Did you watch the speech? His magical, glorious, all-welcoming speech?
The people who came really badly out of his speech were Mexicans, weren't
Mexicans
they?
about it,
and
yeah.
he's like Nigel Farage. He's really worried about immigration. So his plan, if he becomes president, is he's going to build a 2,000-mile-long wall between the US and Mexico. So he's going to build a great wall to keep people out. And at the same time, his next point was he's not going to be influenced by China.
Who is he going to use to build the wall? I would He said other stupid things. He said that all of the women on The Apprentice were either flirting with him consciously or unconsciously. And genuinely, he said that. And a word of warning, if they're unconscious, they're not flirting. That's an important lesson.
Ultimately, it's going to come down to Bush versus Clinton, isn't it? In a nation that fought a war to rid itself of hereditary rulers.
Jeb speaks fluent English, fluent Spanish, doesn't he? So 2 more than his brother George.
Jeb Bush is quite multicultural for a Republican, though, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's married to a Mexican, which just goes to show that in America, Mexicans do all the jobs that they don't want to do.
In other news, which iconic building might need to be shut soon?
Well, it's the Houses of Parliament, isn't it?
It is the Houses of
Palace
Parliament.
of Westminster. I never know the difference.
I know, the Palace of Westminster was the entire
Palace.
thing, yeah.
So the building needs repairs.
It does need repair.
It's all kind of falling apart and full of mice. It was originally a royal palace. I don't know why I'm telling you all this.
Are we on a tour?
Yes. I know. I used to do tour guides. So
Do you actually work as a tour?
Yeah, for about 4 years.
In there? Is you working
No, on London buses. So pointing at stuff.
Oh, you were doing that thing?
Yeah. And Parliament's incredible to talk about. It's Perpendicular Gothic, which was influenced by the... Yeah. Please tell us more, Sarah. This is where we came to watch Mock of the Week. So it was influenced by a tiny bit of Westminster Abbey.
There's 8 Japanese tourists who haven't been getting anything else and are now going, oh, very good, yes.
When you say it used to be a royal palace,
So
are there
the king used
other
to live
palaces
there.
that aren't royal?
Yeah.
Are there?
Crystal Palace?
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
The Palace Tandoori, that's down near my way. What have they found inside there?
Well, it's infested with vermin, or at least that's what the rats say.
playing with mice, moths, and foxes. Foxes are running wild within the palace.
That's not surprising.
Just scavenging members of the Lib Dems who seem to have fallen away from the group. Well, we had 8 when we arrived here, but one has been picked off by the rest of the foxes.
3 billion's worth of repairs that are needed.
The very minimum.
And then there's 56 new SNP MPs who've been celebrating their arses off over the last 2 weeks. So you're thinking, are those two things related? 3 billion of repairs and a hell of a party from the Scottish MPs.
You think that the 50 Scottish MPs have done £3 billion worth of damage?
That'd be brilliant if they had, wouldn't it?
And they're back on the train up to Edinburgh with Big Ben under their arm.
Doing little jokes.
I've got Big Ben!
Going up to people. Got the time? You're all right, you're all right.
One of the suggestions, though, is to move the Parliament to Birmingham, isn't it? And David Cameron is all in favour of this because that is the hometown of the West Ham Football Club that he supports.
I don't see by the new mascot, speaking of things that are the new mascot for Partick Thistle Football Club.
It's brilliant.
I've seen a picture of it. Yeah,
it's designed by whom?
David Shrigley.
David Shrigley, contemporary artist, a huge fan of David Shrigley's work, has designed a new mascot for Partick Thistle Football Club. You know, to G the fans along, get them excited, raise the moods. This is the mascot. There's your nightmares made real, isn't it?
Do you think they could have just put some pupils in the eyes just to give them less of an unseeing cataract?
That I in the face of eternal evil stare into my void of eyes. And the thing is, because it is an important job. Like, not only because, you know, you're geeing the crowd up and you keep them well entertained, but often, and this is one of my favourite things on the internet, people do collections of these, often the mascots will be required, usually because they have forgotten to get off the pitch in time, to stand at the minute's silence if a minute's silence is being held. And there is a fantastic collection of mascots who have had to look sombre or grave or respectful. This is a particular I like this one. That's the Bradford chicken. Billy Bantam, I think he's called, looking very disappointed with it.
He's upset because some Greeks have just stored money up his bottom.
The next one is, again, very serious. That's Buggy Bird from West Brom. And give me one more. That is the West Ham Hammer, looking respectful, but is unable to change his face, which has a joyous bounty. Oh, I'm a quirky hammer. I'm a jolly hammer. But, you know, there's times for reflection as well. OK, take that round. The point's going to Ed here and Gary. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely film trailers.
A man who only wants one thing. Strepsils.
In his toughest assignment yet, Peter Parker has to pick a peck of pickled peppercorn.
Drama, intrigue, romance, gardening, spoons. All these and other words in Dictionary the movie.
All your favourite administrators are back in Human Resources 2. This time it's personnel.
When a hairpiece gets possessed by the devil, there'll be hell to pay.
He loves sex, but he has no arms. Which position will he choose? Missionary impossible.
If you see one film this year, then you're probably a new parent.
It was a love story that crossed the species barrier. He was a man, she was a cow. Coming soon, Beef Encounter.
Coming soon, a 3D film where you don't get bored halfway through and lift up the glasses just to see what the screen looks like without it.
Every Year I Love You More, starring Michael Jackson and Benjamin Button.
Coming soon, a story of premature ejaculation.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. Brilliant, The Times. 5 stars, The Guardian. The beds weren't made, TripAdvisor.
Part man, part machine, part bird, part drum. It's Robo Bongo Cuckoo Cop. Thank you very much.
A group of Greeks try to get away with their money. Chicken Run.
My Dad Pictures presents. Your man. I know him from something. Anyway, him and a woman. I think she was in ER. Maybe it was House. She was definitely a doctor. Join forces to fight. I know him. He's gone awful old looking, hasn't he?
It's the bromance of the year. Ed and David Miliband star in What the Fuck Was the Point of That Then?
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
Mime.
I'm sorry for that small pause just at the end of that record there. Only my shit took slightly longer than I expected.
This is Top DJs of the 1970s. Prison radio has never sounded so good.
A hideous car crash has occurred at the end of the A19. It's called Doncaster.
Another shipping forecast issued by the Met Office at 23:43 on Saturday the 8th. It's going to piss it down.
You're listening to BBC Wiltshire because your car radio has lost reception to what you were listening to.
And next up on the Archers, there's an axe murderer on the loose. Not really. Someone has an argument with their housekeeper.
Travel news. A coachload of origami enthusiasts has broken down on the M1, and they're all currently sat on the hard shoulder making paper models of cars. Traffic is described as stationary.
You're listening to Saga Radio. You're listening...
Lidl, Aldi, later Tesco. This concludes the shopping forecast.
Have you been injured at work? Maybe you should turn the radio off and concentrate properly on what you're doing.
But you're dead. We're all dead. We've all been dead from the beginning. You've been listening to the final ever episode of The Archers.
Next up on Gardener's Question Time, I'll be trying not to laugh like a schoolboy when a woman phones in with a problem about her box hedge.
This is local radio, it's 4 a.m. and no one's listening. Let's play Say Something Racist Roulette.
Due to tomorrow's BBC strike, tomorrow's Today programme will be today's Today programme, but called Yesterday.
Sometimes when you listen to the radio, there's a tune that you can't get out of your head. It sort of plays again and again and again. Sort of gets faster and faster and faster, and finally it comes on.
OK, give that round of applause for James, Sarah and Andy!
That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and James Acaster. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Well, this is the Zero review of the week's news. Sandy Tongsvik shares her last ever edition of the News Quiz tomorrow evening at 6:30 on Radio 4. On BBC 3 now, kick about fun to be had with Russell Howard replaying sporting good news.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining this week are Andy Parsons, Ellie Taylor and Rob Beckett, Josh Widdicombe, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ellie, which category would you like?
Science, please.
Science, yes. Whoop! Science! One up our team. Your category is science. The answer is 7 months. What is the question?
Is it how old Princess Charlotte will be when the Daily Mail start commenting on her weight?
Is it how long does my nephew think I've been playing hide and seek with him?
Is it how long until Sepp Blatter gets bummed in prison?
Is it how old was Jack Whitehall when he first appeared on this programme?
Is it if I get a 30-second advert before a YouTube video, how long does that feel?
You can't always skip. You can't always skip, Andy. Some of them you have to prove you're over 18 as well. It's a nightmare.
Is it, if I was in charge, what would be the prison sentence for saying chillax?
Is it how long does it take to get to Glasgow on a megabus?
Yes, a megabus. I am the accepted face.
You've ever gone on a megabus?
I'm on every megabus, Pat.
Is it how long it takes Dara to start a sentence?
What are you on Britain's Got Talent now? Is that what you're doing?
God, you really haven't got over that Britain's Got Talent thing. You brought it up out of nowhere 2 weeks in a row, Dara.
I would continue to until I hunt that man down and kill him. It wasn't the fact that he did it. It was the fact that it was a snippet that they chose in all the acts. They said, oh, there's like 1 second from each act. And his was just him going, and a number underneath. 9888999.
I know, but...
There's more to me than that.
Is there?
No. Seemingly not.
Is it to avoid suspicion, how long is Mo Farah planning to run his next 10,000 metres in?
OK, can we move to the correct answer, please?
Is it how long it took for me to get over seeing my dad in the bath?
That's very quick, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It took me 4 years.
Really? What's he doing looking at my dad?
Surely more the question is, what was your dad doing in his bath?
Friday night.
It's to do with that thing on the comet.
That thing... That's your correct answer. It's to do with that thing
Is
on the
thing
comet.
I can't believe that this is the right answer.
Oh, my God.
Go on.
It's basically, how long was the space probe that landed on the comet asleep for?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons.
Well done, mate.
The question I was looking for is how long had the Philae lander spacecraft spent in hibernation after it landed on a comet in November last year? After 7 months of receiving no contact from Philae, the European Space Agency revealed over the weekend that the probe had made contact with scientists again.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Because basically the signal apparently takes half an hour to get to Earth, and the battery lasted 87 seconds. That is a bit like being on O2 with an iPhone 4, that, isn't it?
The tweet that was sent from the Philae account, which just said, "Hello Earth, can you hear me?"
If I was in charge of the Twitter account, I'd have just put, "Oh shit, aliens."
I can't believe he's got reception in space. I can't even get Wi-Fi in my kitchen.
I think it's quite interesting that as a British probe, it was like it didn't do anything for 7 months, got a little bit of sunshine, and was like, oh, got all excited. I reckon he's got like a little knotted hanky on his head up there, organising some rounders and a barbecue.
He'll be complaining about the heat soon. Oh, it's too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot now. We're just at the exact correct moment where it's just the right amount of heat for. Oh, God, I'm tired of barbecues now.
It reported back that the average temperature of the comet, minus 50 degrees. So apparently FIFA are thinking of awarding it the 2026 World Cup.
I looked up at the plough the other day and I thought to myself, I really regret lying down in this field.
What they said, though, didn't they? What they said was it was essentially like chucking a washing machine out of an airliner and trying to land it on the space the size of Regent's Park. Now, I used to live near Regent's Park in Camden, and a lot of the back gardens did have washing machines in them. So I reckon they've had a few cracks at this experiment.
It looks well technical. Is it a Dyson? Who's taken that photo? That's what I want to know.
That's not actually a photograph of him there.
He's actually got a selfie stick, that's what it is.
They have discovered, though, that apparently that the water on the comet is not the right water.
No.
It's not the right water as Earth.
It's not the right water.
And you think, how does that work? Did they find fizzy instead of still? What's going on?
But how different can the water be? Can you still have a bath in it?
Yes, you can
Can you still see Rob's dad in there?
Yes.
If I close my eyes, I can still see Rob's dad in there.
7 months.
How has the behaviour of Western tourists upset people in Malaysia recently?
Oh, this is the girl that stripped off on top of the mountain.
Yes, it's escaped from Boobs Mountain.
Well, she said that they didn't know that it was an issue, but you just presume that when you go to places that is... Like, if I walk into St Paul's Cathedral, I'm not looking for a sign with, like, a penis with a red cross through it. I'm just going,
There's no
they don't want to
rule.
see my cock.
There's no rule. And just swaying gently. I don't see it written anywhere. You produce a rule book for me, I'll stop motioning like this.
Basically, wasn't there 6 days between her getting her kit off and the earthquake? So those gods, they took quite a long time to decide to be offended, didn't they? I'm wondering if they spent a lot of that time just looking at the photos.
It has become a thing. I mean, this is one of the photos taken of them. They're all doing it.
It's a weird trend, isn't it?
We have them up mountains, people do it. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
That one was me.
Next to a canyon, champ. It's not going to impress, right? This is, you know, that's how the styles for a start. Right?
Do you know, they actually didn't know each other, they're just meeting for the first time.
Hey, boy, bonjour, bonjour. Oh, I know, my washing machine is on a comet. How is an Italian neuroscientist hoping to make medical history?
This is brilliant.
This is
an
amazing.
absolutely fantastic
This is
story.
amazing.
He is planning to give someone a head transplant, or to take someone's head off and transplant it onto another body.
It's a bit ridiculous, though, isn't it? Like, how in demand are heads? Like, who's at home going, finally, I can get an head now, all these years?
No, I think you mixed up a head transplant and a body transplant. No one is going, if only my body had the head it deserved.
Yeah.
I have a...
You are
also-
quite ripped, aren't you? Yeah.
I reckon he's on the blag. I reckon he's going to get two people who are quite similar, get one of them, get rid of the other one, and just do like a little dotted line around the neck. Go, done it, nailed it.
You would never, ever want to be a head donor, would you? Because that just sounds like a PC job title for a prostitute, doesn't it? That's basically
I don't think, and I know little enough about the sex industry, that they regard it as a donation. All right,
but you are giving head.
Yes, you are, but there is also...
Speak for yourself.
But... Yes. I don't know, I can't speak for the sex industry. Maybe they go, the head is free. It's the companionship you're paying for.
If you hadn't seen somebody for ages,
Yeah.
and whenever you had seen them, they'd always been in a wheelchair, and then you suddenly saw them walking along the street, you'd be quite freaked out by that, wouldn't you? Right? But it would not be as freaky as if you thought somebody had died and then you saw them walking along the street with exactly the same tattoos as the person who died. That would freak you right out, wouldn't it?
Would there be an element of you would want... I don't know if you can request no tattoos, though.
You'd wake up and be like, why is that pierced?
Hello. I'm not married to Mabel. What the hell is this doing here? This is going to be awkward
I
go
love that
home.
your go-to name for a wife was Mabel.
Yeah. it's actually Mary. I thought it was too Irish. I thought, I better pick something English. Mabel, that's a standard English
Have
name.
you met my beautiful wife, Mabel?
If you put a head on someone else's body, are heads gender specific? Do they have to go on the same?
Oh, that's a very interesting question.
Because I was thinking you'd have to find the match, wouldn't you? Sometimes a head is much too large for a body. So, for example, if your head was to go on Posh Spice, that would look ridiculous.
She'd be lolling. I don't know which of it is. Would be lolling ferociously.
I would be having some confusing feelings looking at that.
I can enjoy this. Who'd you be blocking out? Who would you be blocking out? Seriously, Josh, be honest with me. Would you be blocking out me or Posh in this situation? Or would it be like those superhero mashup toys?
Wait, which Spice Girl would they choose then?
Well, Posh, I think.
No, they choose Scary because she's like, you know. I don't think they give you a catalogue of just the Spice Girls. I don't think it's...
I've totally misunderstood the story.
I don't think, I need a new body. Well, these are your 5 exact choices. Oh, that seems unusual.
So I could choose one of the All Saints?
Presumably, yeah.
If you can remember their names.
Essentially, that's what the Sugar Babes have been for about 10 years anyway. At the end of the points go to Rob, Ellie and Andy. Now we play a round called Third Mock from the Sun. This game involves Ellie and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's have a look at the first topic. And the first subject is relationships. Ellie.
So I've got quite a close relationship with my sister, and she's got my little nephew, Henry, who is a prick. No, he is. Don't take his side. You haven't met him. Because before he came along, I was the youngest in the family. I was the baby of the family, which we all know is the socially acceptable way for saying favourite. A role I was born to play until my sister, Slaggy McSlaggerson, got herself knocked up by some dude she had barely been married to for 6 years. Suddenly, it was all about her and the baby within. Now, initially, naively, I did actually get quite excited about the pregnancy, because I think, especially from, like, a female point of view, you wouldn't be human if you didn't get excited about your sister putting on a lot of weight. Had a lot of fun with that. We did. I changed her ringtone to the sound of a large lorry reversing. Just sisterly banter, really. But the banter stopped when the baby came, because suddenly it was all about him. No one paid me any attention anymore. Like, I don't know if you've ever had, like, sort of a family dinner with a small child around. It's a nightmare. There's food being thrown, there's shit everywhere, there's tits hanging out. You name it, I tried it, still nothing. Thank you.
Very good. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been given. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is entertainment.
I'm reading a book at the moment. It's called The Anticlimax. The first part is good. I see Rihanna had to cancel a concert because she got salmonella. Ella. I also see that down by the Thames they're making another wheel, this time dedicated to Mary Poppins, called the London Diddle-Diddle-Diddle-Diddle-Eye. My grandmother, she got her scarf caught in one of those Ferris wheels, but she did regain consciousness. After all, what goes around... I was in a nativity play once. I was the man who scares the children because he comes into the hall on the wrong day to play badminton. Lionel Richie says hello, by the way. The other day, I saw a sheep pole dancing in a kebab shop.
Thank you very, very much. OK. Getting that round the point. Let's go back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
You know that thing when a dog's eaten a bee?
Is David Cameron going, 6 pages? Is this really the complete list of taxpayers in Greece?
Is it David Cameron can almost smell the shit coming off the Tory manifesto? I only got a bit political, didn't I?
Is he looking at the tea menu and he's saying, I'll have the millionaire's shortbread, or as I call it, shortbread?
Is it Cameron upset to see no Dizzy Rascal on the karaoke songbook?
He does a very good bonkers, actually. He does a very good bonkers.
Is it Cameron orders Eton Mess for dessert and for the country?
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry,
When
has
has
Rob Beckett had a head transplant?
I've got a tiny dick now, but I love politics.
Have you got a third joke that you're going to do about...
Cameron preparing to sell NHS at auction. It's fun doing politics, isn't it? What a time to be alive.
Is that Cameron checking the TV listings going, Rob Beckett's on Mock the Week, that's the end of me, then?
His hard-hitting caustic satire is finishing me. He's mocking me on that week.
If the joke's not good enough, just put your hand up in the air.
Am I right, brothers? Am I right? Yeah. My dad's in the bath and I got some politics. Let's go!
Is it Cameron reading a note that just says, David, this is the only way I could speak to you. I haven't heard from you since May the 7th. Call me, Nick, XOXO.
Or is he in fact just going, all right, it says here, Nick Clegg is in fact doing the Sheffield Panto at Christmas. That's what it says here.
He's bounced back.
This, I think, is Cameron at the G7, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, yes. It's Cameron at the G7. Why is he having these high-level meetings?
He's trying to kind of get them to make some changes to the EU to convince... Because we're doing this whole EU vote. I think the EU is misbranded. No one would want to leave if they called it the League of Legends. If they said, do you want to leave the League of Legends? I go, no, mate, I'm the chairman.
We've got to vote again already. I'm going to start feeling like...
It's in 2 years' time.
Oh, I'm going to start feeling like a pedo waiting around school halls 8 in the morning. It's embarrassing.
You don't have to wait around for 2 years. In fact, I strongly
I'm really into politics now. I want to think about it.
What does he ask?
He wants major concessions, mainly on free movement of people, on immigration, doesn't he?
Yes. But that is essentially the whole point of it, is that you can't. Yeah, and you can't deny benefits to people because you've got to treat them as your own citizens, right? So how is he going to stop European immigrants coming into the country?
Say, Dara, you've been claiming off us for 10 years, mate.
All right, don't cheer that. Yeah, finally somebody has a nerve to say it. Mr. Giant Head Posh Leg.
Brilliant though, if UKIP made you a campaign issue.
Stop this man for too long. Is human. Got a big picture of me. So, big picture of me going like that. This man, bam, bam, bam. Picture of me. Just grabbing all your cash.
He's visiting.
Tura, lura, lura.
30 years ago, it was all Warsaw Pact, but now it's empty.
If we leave Europe, we'll have to pay more for Kinder eggs. Because they're going up as it is.
Yeah, I know.
Like 70p.
You know, if we leave Europe, we'll get the Kinder Egg and we'll open up and there'll be no toy.
Oh, my gosh.
I did not expect that to have quite the effect it had, right? Wow, somebody just cancelled Christmas for the
Well, what we could do is deliver France an ultimatum saying that if we don't get our way, we'll call Greggs a patisserie.
In other news, why is an American civil rights campaigner in trouble this week?
Basically, she's been pretending to be black, hasn't she?
She
Basically,
is.
she was born of white parents. There's childhood pictures of her with fair skin and fair hair. I mean, she's essentially the opposite of Michael Jackson, isn't she?
She's gone on a very different journey, I'll give you that. That is Rachel Dolezal as a teenager, I presume. That's it, was 17, 18, I think. And then here she is today, where she now claims to be black and works for the NAACP, which is like an African American rights
She doesn't actually
organisation.
look black in the second shot. She looks orange. And she's now resigned her job, but maybe Atomic Kitten can take her on. You never know.
It could be a Netflix PR thing. You know, it could be Orange is the New Black. It might be the. You're hoping for that.
It might be just a little lie that's got out of hand. Do you know what I mean? We've all lied, like, in the past to sort of, like, impress people. I once told a girl I was Swedish, right, which was hard to keep up. Now we're married. I mean, I'm going Ikea...
Herring, darling.
Exactly.
Herring.
I'm going Ikea 3 times a week just for new words.
She's kind of lied about her race to get this job or whatever, potentially. I don't know what I'd do in that. Like, if my agent came to me and said they're going to recast The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air... I've got you an audition for the lead role. I don't know whether I'd do it.
You want to be in Pole Dark, mate. That's the one for you. Take your shirt off.
Take your shirt off.
Thought you'd never ask. You sound like Rob Beckett's dad.
If this makes the edit, he's going to be loving this. He's down the pub going, it was me in the bar.
So she has resigned her job, by the way. This lady who pretended to be black and was dobbed in by her parents, which is a bit that
so sad.
Yes, they did. They her estranged parents, which is because apparently I love the word estranged. I've always loved estranged. When I was a kid, and they say and his estranged wife, I just presume it meant strange. Have you met your wife? Hello. You don't want to talk about me? Crazy Mabel, is she able? That's what they say about me.
Do you remember when this show was about the news?
It used to be. People complain it's not topical enough. Fuck you! Right. OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Joshua and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end. And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over at Tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug, rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor, someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland. Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the Sexist Supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Josh Hewitt-Milton. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Eddie Taylor and Rob Beckett. Commiserations to Josh Widdicombe, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.